So I'm wondering if this is therapeutic for anyone besides me. Um, just processing this stuff out loud and on camera clearly. This is going to be a follow up to last week's video. I don't do a lot of that. Maybe I should do more. I'm not sure. Feel free to drop a comment if you think I should, or anything you think I should build on or explore. But what I have been exploring and processing through this week again is grief. Grief is a dirty, dirty bastard. I'm telling you, it is. Oh, goodness gracious. So last weekend, I had a showcase. So let me say, I am grateful for the things on my calendar and in my life that have made me shift, but it's been very back and forth, if that makes sense. So there are some things that I just refuse to move off the calendar. So I had to take some deep breath, put on my big girl pants, and go and do what I needed to do. Like the showcase that we had last weekend. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. It was for Black authors and in a Black owned space. And so the art, the creativity, the love, the family feel was amazing. And I needed that. And I began to get teary in that space. But it was good to be around just good hearted people. And so by the time I packed up my car and went to the gas station and thought about what kind of snack I wanted to get because I was starving, I came back home and broke down again. In fact, I found myself not wanting to come through those doors. And so it was tough. It was tough. And yet I am grateful to not have the space to wallow there. But now let me tell you, when the calendar was light, and it was a couple of days this week, I found myself kind of stuck and very much irritated, which brings me to what I really want to share today, which is this notion of what I am calling fake peace. It is a counterfeit. It is a lie. And let me tell you what that looks like. So, full transparency, I am doubly grieving. Let me tell you why. And I talked this through with my spiritual daughter last night, and it was very helpful and cleansing to be able to say things out loud. So I'm going to say them out loud again with you, and I pray that it's a mirror, that you look at yourself and at your life, and that you can heal, that you can say some things out loud. So here it is. So not only am I grieving my puppy, right? And let me just say, she was not just my friend, my furry friend. She was my family member. That was my baby. I could not have loved her anymore had I given birth to her myself. Had I carried her inside me and pushed her out, I could not have loved her anymore. I loved that baby. And for her suddenly not to be around anymore was absolutely devastating in a way that I could not even have imagined nor prepared for. So that has been tough. But let me tell you what has made it tougher. Are you ready? Here it is. And I'm not trying to secretly cloak this as relationship advice. Even if you see that in the tags, I don't know what tags my system is going to recommend that I put on this video. But grieving in a relationship is very interesting because you have two parties from two different backgrounds, two ways of thinking, no matter how long you've been together, because Mr. Bolden and I have been together for 16 years, almost 17 years. Gee whiz, 17 years together this spring, and 16 years married. That's not right. 15, because it's 2 years gap. No, but we've been married 15 years, 15 years. Y'all, I'm all the way in 2027. Forgive me. And y'all know I'm not going to edit this out. I don't have time and I don't know how to do all that stuff. Not for real, for real. So anyway, we've been together since 2009 and married since 2011. So now you do the math. And so right now, the space that we're in, follow me, I'm talking about fake peace. I am having to communicate my needs differently in order to have real peace. I am no longer, and this is per the Holy Spirit, y'all. This is not me trying to be cute. I don't have to. This is not me trying to stir up no mess because I'm too old for that. And I'm not trying to get my blood pressure up if I don't have to. I'm having to communicate my needs more. There's no more time for me to just get by or piecing things together, patching things up. I am in a space from God's unctioning where I have to say, no, this is what I need. This is what is going to make me feel wholly seen and wholly loved, not piecemeal, not rigged up. Got it? And so there is growing pains there. God is calling me to be a new person, to talk different, to request different. And I realized this week that I am grieving the person that I was. And she, in that area of my life, was a lie. She was like, she was not real. And she accepted this fake peace, this counterfeit peace, instead of the real peace of God that comes from on high. And that peace comes from love, grace, compassion, and integrity. You only get that when you are upfront and honest. And y'all, that thing, even saying it out loud right now, I'm shaking. My heart's like, my stomach is fluttering. And yet, there's power in it. But y'all have to realize that before there's power, there is pain. And so to be grieving what my relationship once was, what it may never be, and grieving the person of who I have been in the marriage, on top of the devastating loss of my fur baby. I have to be honest, y'all, it was just a whole lot. It was an absolute lot with a capital L. But talking through these things, I understand that God is fully able, fully capable to wholly and authentically love me in a way that I need. And He does that through His Word. He does that through worship experiences. And He does that through people. He does that through people. And so I don't have to put any undue pressure on any one person to show up for me in any way. Now, I make my request known, okay? And if that is not met, then there is a response to that. There are things that happen as a result of that. And so, in all decisions that we make, there are positive and negative consequences. And so, what I realize that I am honestly grieving and having to process through is that the former me was literally going along to get along, was accepting things that, quite frankly, are not acceptable, are subpar. And no, it can be, I want to make an analogy. This might be a little bit dumb, but it can be something very simple as, and this water right here, y'all, came from Walmart. I'm by no means endorsing them. They are just a means to an end, y'all, for real. It can be something just as simple as this purified drinking water right here in this bottle versus tap water. It tastes different. One is in a bottle, the other may be in a cup, glass, or whatever. But if my specific need is specific like that, and you are giving me tap water when this right here is what I like, need, and prefer, the times of me accepting the tap water are no more. And somebody might be saying, well, wow, is it that serious? Yes. And let me tell you how and why it's that serious. Because I know that my it's two things. My birthright is peace, but my heavenly name is also peace. Now that's a whole nother lesson for a whole nother day. You might can talk to your pastor, your spiritual leader, or better yet, if you literally want to have a more thorough conversation about that, you can email me at thehealedgirl@gmail.com. That's thehealedgirl@gmail.com. And we can talk. We're not going to debate, but we can have a conversation about what I have been taught and what I believe that to mean. So God sent me to the earth to be peace. Peace was my assignment, is my assignment, my first name. Before Hattie and John, my parents, called me Artisha, heaven called me peace. And so, of course, chaos is always going to try to find me, and I have to fight and stand on peace. But somewhere along the way, I lost my fight, and I traded and accepted this counterfeit peace, this fake peace, by going along and getting along and just suppressing and putting down. Because this is the part right here. Because somewhere in here, I viewed me as the problem. And I had this guilt of maybe I want too much. And I just pushed all of that down, like way down in my pinky toes, pushed it down and just kept accepting that tap water in that cup. Just kept accepting something that didn't look right, feel right, or taste right. And I told myself it will be okay until this devastating loss, then realizing, no, that's never what I wanted. And no, that's not peace. Just accepting what is given. I need to go back to the drawing board and write some things down again. Let my requests be made known in a lovingly gracious and compassionate way and move forward then. So I know I'm not the only one. Someone is having a rebirth like me. Someone is learning themselves all over again like me. Someone is having growing pains in their current relationships and processes because they are becoming new and God is no longer allowing the counterfeits to take center stage. And someone just said, heck, now that you explained it, I realize that I have been resentful. Did I say that word out loud? It's been in my mind. Resentful because you have accepted what is unacceptable for so long. And then you have unhealed resentment because you resent the fact that you have been taking the less than all this time. But no more. No more, no more. We are healed, set free, and delivered. And that can be very ugly, very, very painful, and if I'm honest, sometimes very lonely. But we are going to get through this. Do you hear me, beautiful? We are going to get through this together. And we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. It won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning me. Sooner or later, it's going to turn in my favor. It's turning around for me. And guess what? For you too. I love you. And I'll holler real soon.